Welcome back, traders. Hopefully you guys had a nice weekend here. Well, Bitcoin is teetering on a major support level right now. We're sitting around this $19,400-$500 region. Still putting in higher lows from earlier this week. We're kind of in what looks to be a descending triangle. These can break up or down about, it's basically a coin flip. 53%, I believe, according to Bolkowski. Let me grab some tunes here. So to me, it does make some sense if, well, I mean, obviously let's take a look at the DXY and the dollar. We're going to close here in about 3 minutes. So the dollar is, or I should say, Tether is pulling back off this 618 territory, or the gold mean ratio, that 7.78% region. It's just sitting in this range right here. It touched this bottom of this range here earlier this week. That was when Bitcoin got rejected around this 20,500 region, and it's making lower highs, but it's also making higher lows. We're coming to a real decision area here for Bitcoin. Let's see what the daily looks like. So obviously you can tell from the title, and courtesy to Arash for finding that news about CRO laying off more employees and not being too transparent about what they're doing with their employees, and not good stuff, right? Not good stuff. Bitcoin here on the weekly chart, we just kind of told you guys we're in a descending triangle. We're going to pull up what Bolkowski says about descending triangles. Just so you know, I'm not just making this stuff up, and it's actually real. But like I said, I think it's a 53% chance. Yeah, can be in any direction, but is upward 53%. So it's basically a coin flip. And this is kind of what the pattern and structure looks like. You guys can all agree we have, 3 touch points on the top and about 3 touch points on the bottom. So if price rises into the pattern, it breaks out upward 63% of the time. So price has actually been going down. So yeah, I mean, it's literally a coin flip, guys. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know what it's going to do, because I don't. Sitting on the support, I wouldn't be looking to short Bitcoin here personally. Risk to reward for short isn't as good as maybe move to the upside, which would be around the $24,000 region. So I'm slated more to the upside only because of where we're at on the support. Now, if the stock market and the DXY just start continuing to rip, which they might, because the dollar just closed what looks to be a weekly hammer candle. We didn't engulf last week's candle, but this to me looks pretty strong on the DXY right now. This close right here is pretty strong for a continuation move, at least to test 113. Unless there's some news or catalyst to bring down the dollar this week, it's not looking too favorable for assets that are paired to dollar. right now. So coin flip type of pattern. We're in a downtrend, and the dollar could rip. So do the math. All right, so your lows here are around 18.4. You continue to test those lows, the more likely it is to break. Same goes for the resistance, even though we really haven't been able to get too far at all. We just keep getting rejected around the that blue line there, which is the 100-day moving average for Bitcoin, and now we're getting rejected by the 50-day. So not a hard rejection, but enough of a pullback here to maybe suggest that we come back down and test these lows again. So we're still in the realm of this pattern, and could take some time to play out. We could come back down to the bottom of the range again and maybe get a bounce here to then try to break out again, or we could come down to the bottom and reject this again and then break down. Like, I think we're getting close to the apex of this triangle, so just kind of pay attention to what's happening. Where's the link to the layoff news? Arash, you want to provide that link, dude? I know you sent it to us in our chat. But we have some coins that are obviously way outperforming the market, like Solo. If you guys are part of the alert service, you guys definitely, or I would hope you guys took or participated in this trade. This asset, we gave an entry on the 11th of September around this 12-13 cent region, and you guys can see that we broke nicely out of this wedge pattern and made about 115% move since the trade was given. So there are some assets outperforming the market. XRP is one of those, and that's where this asset does reside, is an XRP asset. We're going to take a look at XRP here real fast. So XRP reclaiming the daily 200-day moving average. Most assets have not done this just yet. So this to me is pretty strong. Every single time it does reclaim, you can see when Ripple was in a downtrend here, it reclaimed it in the middle of a bear market, which is what maybe we could be doing, which is what it did here. It also reclaimed it here, so 2 times. So this is the first reclaim. Maybe this is what we're doing, and it's just making a move, about a 100% move from its low, which I think we're pretty close to doing. It moved about 100% from its low, right? So if it is repeating what it did back here in 2018, 2019, because we're in the middle of a bear market, then maybe expect some further downside back down to test at least the trend line, or maybe back down to these supports if we get a real capitulation in this market. All right. And the real supply line here on XRP is obviously this trend line here. And it looks like we're breaching it right now. We did make a closure outside. So we'll see if we get continuation, maybe up to 60 cents. We'll see if that happens, because we did get a little bit of a spike back here if you want to compare to what it did previously. So could be a little bit left. Could be a little bit of room left in this tank here for XRP before a major pullback. Or if Bitcoin just decides to start dumping and creating that sell-off, that'll be a good catalyst for it to come down. Let's take a look at ETH real fast. ETH closing below its weekly resistance here. Not making lower lows though, right? Just kind of hanging on to these lows. Technically higher lows than the June lows, right? So we could maybe see ETH at least test, 1362 again, right? If we really get rejection there, I think I wouldn't really consider this a hard rejection. We actually bullishly engulfed last week's candle. Yeah, this market's kind of tough to read right now. It's just some coins look really bullish and some coins don't look that so good, right? So ETH can maybe test its supply line again, right? Around this 1420 area. That would make some sense if we do get a push up. And maybe it just rejects it and comes back down. Like, we're going to have to see how these play out. Kind of a little too early to tell on what ETH is going to do here. But if it doesn't get back above this 1360 area and it regards it as resistance, you better bet your bottom dollar that it's probably going to come back down to test this $1,000 region. So we can't really be bullish again until we really break the supply line and back test it as support and then rally off of it. So we're still in the midst of this downtrend. Okay? Bearish outlook is still here, unfortunately. Lots of people are getting impatient, and you just need to be patient in these markets. That's really it. In terms of Fibonacci levels, we've done a 786 fib extension. We got a reaction rally there, and we could come back down to test this level again, like I said before, if we don't end up holding at this current support, which if you draw a trend line right here is literally right at this area where we caught some bids. Okay, yeah, Gala is looking good. That is in a pretty big wedge pattern. We were talking about that before. It put in a nice weekly bullish engulfing candle, and we now have a closure outside of the trend line, and we're at the apex, and we're in the buy zone, right? We're below 45 on the weekly RSI. We're in a squeeze on the I call this the explosion detector, which is on balance volume plus MA. XLM double bottom. Yeah, we can take a look at XLM. Let's take a look at it. XLM got a nice break. Oh wow, I didn't even realize I had this drawn out. But there you go, XLM wedge break, confirmed wedge break on the weekly. We could get this back test right here, maybe on down to about 12.2 cents, or we could just say bye-bye and rip up to like 14 cents. Probably your next real region there. But XLM looks nice, right? Nice little flag wedge pattern set up here for XLM for some nice upside. So like I said, some of these coins look really good, like they've made bottoms or maybe local bottoms, and we could see some rallies up to resistance areas. Yeah, we'll have to see how Bitcoin really performs. If Bitcoin really starts crashing and can just ruin all these structures, unfortunately. So really just got to pay attention to how that goes. But yeah, monthly is 43 on the RSI, weekly chart 46, just outside of the buy zone, but honestly, you could probably still long-term accumulate XLM here if you think it has a future, which I think it does. It's one of the ISO 2022 coins, I believe. So XLM looks pretty good. Glimmer is another one. I've been talking about this one for a while. I think it finally made a closure outside. Let's see if we get follow-through price action on this. This is a dot parachain. Let's see what dot's looking like too while we're at it. So dot throwing us an inverted hammer on the weekly chart previous week. And then this week, bullish engulfing candle. Could get a snapback back above 687. If we reclaim 687, man, this market's really tough to read right now. I'm not going to really lie to you guys. Like, I don't know which way this market's going to break. Like, we're already pretty wrecked on the RSI, so it just, to me, it just would make sense if we did get some movements up. Would dot go up to like 40 on the weekly RSI would be wouldn't even be something out of the ordinary here, as it's pretty wrecked, right? Like, it could make moves all the way to its RSI supply line, right? Before maybe capitulating or something, or maybe getting a massive pullback. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it looks like we might see some upside. I wouldn't be short DOT here. I wouldn't be short most of these assets. They're all sitting on major support levels. If they've done crazy moves like maybe solo, like, yeah, you could, like, it's looking like maybe this is going to come back down a little bit. Because, like, why not? It just did a 123% move. XNO, sure, take a look at it. Yeah, the Fed is waiting to wreck the market, so. Hey, can you guys see that tip jar on my screen? XNO. I don't really know too much about this asset. It doesn't have that much data either. Let's see. It's on KuCoin. There's not much data there either. Yeah, XNO. I don't really know too much about this coin, but yeah, just draw it out, right? So you're at a supply line or pretty close to a supply line. Was that a hint? I mean, you took it as a hint. Other people don't really care, I guess. I'm not worth it. No, I'm just kidding, dude. No pressure. But tips are always appreciated, of course. Let's see. So this could be wedging maybe a bit here on the weekly chart. You are in the buy zone, right? And again, not much data on this chart, but 35 on the weekly. Daily 43, yeah. You know what? I got rid of my stochastics on this chart. I'm at the max indicators. Okay, no stochastics it is. Sushi and file. Yeah, we'll take a look at it, man. Sure. So XNO, I mean, maybe a retest of your 75-cent region if you don't get bids here, which you may not. It looks like you're maybe reversing right here, so might need to be a little bit more patient with this one. Let's see. So sushi. Sushi actually looks not bad. Let's go to the line chart. Looks like it broke the major supply line here on sushi. Looks set up, man. Really does look set up for some upside. Right after you break the supply line like that, and you get a little bit of a rally, you could stay in this range here for a bit, right? You could stay in this range here for a bit, but eventually, I mean, there's nothing really here, man. Like, you break $1.40, you go up to top of the range $1.55, and then you got nothing up here, man. This thing can just go right to 260 and even up to 280. I mean, like, yeah, sushi. Wow. Thanks for the $10 super chat, Toe. Appreciate that, brother. So if this truly is a wedge pattern, we're looking at this range, man. Like, you reclaim that $5 region, that means the bottom's in. All right, we haven't done that yet. We don't know if this is the bottom. Not confirmed. You start doing that, then we're looking at most likely $8 to $13 range for sushi long term. This is a long term chart. It's a weekly chart. This could take many weeks. It could take many months. But to me, this looks like a good long term place to be buying sushi. If you think this coin has viability, of course, not financial advice, right? You guys know that. But yeah, see how it does in this bear. I mean, this technically is a bear flag, right? It's just range bound. If it continues to just chop around in here and sheep token, yeah, man, sheep token looking great. We'll take a look at sheep here in a minute. We'll look at TRB and Filecoin. We'll look at too. Filecoin just sitting on support on the weekly. It's awfully close to a break, though. Look at how close it's. I mean, you just need 3 touch points. So, let's see. Kind of tough to draw on the weekly chart, but that looks pretty good. We'll take a look at Link here in a second in TRB. Problem with this Filecoin is that it's just been in a downtrend since March of 2021, and I'm sure there's plenty of other assets that you can buy that look much better than this. This monthly close is not so good. I mean, it didn't actually close below, but this is a doji candle. This can go either way, man. This doji could be a reversal. This doji could be a continuation down. You know, I mean, obviously shorting down here is stupid. So if you want to start building a long-term position here, I wouldn't say that that's a bad idea. You know, your worst case scenario is probably the 1618, which is like $1.40 or something. Which that's 80% move down from here or something. So yeah, just pay attention to these support levels. If it starts breaking them, then look for lower, right? Look for 420. You know, that's the next fib for Filecoin. We'll look at sheep. We'll look at Link here in a sec. We're gonna look at Link first. They got rid of the Link USDC pairing. Is that right? Okay, and that had all the data on it. Fuck. Let's see. All right. Well, we lost a lot of the data on Link, so that sucks. Hey, yeah, Shinato about to you too, sir. Well, I guess this is most of the data on Link. Just riding along this trend line down here on the weekly. Definitely looks pretty good. You can see we're just kind of just making these higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, all the way higher low. But you need to start. You can see the price compression happening here. It's, to me, it just looks like accumulation, but you can see that we are in a downtrend still. Okay, this is a pennant. We're forming a pennant here on Link. Definitely getting close to a decision for Link here. Could consolidate for a bit more, but eventually... Penance, I think Penance can break to the upside about 50% or something like that. Let's take a look at what Bukowski says about Penance. But I think it's something like that. This would be a bearish pennant, right? So breakout is 57% to the upside. Volume trend downward 86% of the time. So if the volume's been receding, which it has been receding, then we're looking at a move to the upside about 57% of the time. So almost a coin flip, but obviously a little bit more slated to upside, okay? Matic. Oh, let's just cover this stuff real fast. So fear and greed index 22. Obviously, when there's fear in the market, you want to be accumulating assets, right? Rainbow chart, we're in the fire sale zone, man. This could be, I mean, well, unless this model's going to break, this is usually close to bottoms. Obviously, COVID, we got a nice wick through that area. We could do something like that as well for Bitcoin, but we shall see how this plays out. The cycle chart's calling for a massive capitulation event at the end of this month. According to this chart, we will not go above 19K the rest of this month. So it could be in store for one last dump, guys. Just beware of that, okay? Plan accordingly. The Nupal chart is in the capitulation zone right now. We've been in the capitulation zone. So we could be looking at one like that. Cycle chart says maybe one more real big crash. We'll see. Kind of lines up with what the S&P is doing, but right this very moment it's tough. We probably won't break down just yet, like it's saying. And what else do we want to look at? We want to look at TRB and then sheep. All right. TRB, I think I gave an actual trader on this the other day around that $15 region where I saw we started making these higher lows down here. You can see it's sort of broke out and back tested this range down here. This actually looks pretty interesting. Looks like maybe some sort of rounding action. Like we could see $30 pretty quick or pretty soon on this one if we do get some movements up. And I mean, that would make some sense. We're just sitting on support. We made a bottom and looks like maybe some sort of double bottom on TRB. All right. And we'll look at Matic here in a second. We'll look at Gala. We just looked at Gala, right, didn't we? Yeah, so Gala breaking out of its wedge right now. That looks really nice. This is a massive gaming token, guys, so this one could do some good things long term. 87 cents was its high. That's like a 20x from here. Wedge pattern. Right, Matic. And then, oh yeah, we're gonna look at sheep token first. Let's see. So the sheep token. Sheep token is a community-driven project. Looking very nice, man. Look at the monthly chart, right? Nice bull flag. We got a nice breakout. I am personally invested in this project. I entered around this $3.30 region right off this hammer. And I know the owner and the community of this project, so do your own research, but I think this is going to be a good project. There's only 1 million sheep token that are in circulation, and I think there's only 32,000 left in circulation, so we're going to see a supply shock, which could send the price, and my target is roughly around this $50 region here longer term, all right? Not financial advice, of course. And it may not even do that. We might get a pullback first or something, but this looks pretty good to me. A lot of crypto charts do not look like this right now, so something to pay attention to. Look at Matic. So Matic broke out of a channel and just downslope consolidating here. And holding on to these supports, which is pretty critical for Matic. Coming up to like what looks to be a supply line on the daily and the 4 hour. Looks like it's making a higher low and trying to pivot here. So we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. Matic also one of the stronger layer 2s to watch for this bull run. This next bull run we have. We're showing some 3-day bull div here as well for Matic. So very nice chart, very nice looking chart for Matic. This does imply some movements up on the 3-day chart. All right. Top of the range here on Matic is $1.05. That would be probably my short-term target for it if we do get a breakup. All right. This kind of looks like a descending broadening formation on the 3-day chart. With the weekly closed a bullish engulfing candle from last week and held this support. Matic looks good. Sitting basically around neutral, 46 on the RSI on the weekly. A lot of mixed bags on these coins right now, guys. Some look bullish, some look bearish, some look teetering, like they're not bullish, not bearish, you know, like just in the middle. Yeah. See if that cycle repeat chart is accurate. We could get altcoins that rally into the end of this month, and then we get one last capitulation is what could happen. See anything ripping out the gate here? Litecoin. This thing looks pretty wrecked. This is what I'm saying, man. A lot of these coins are just so destroyed already. And oil and gold, let's take a look. I suspect oil to keep ripping. I mean, look, the 2-week just breaking a supply line. Bullish engulfing candle last 2 weeks on oil. Holding that major trend line that we even drew. I mean, can't make this stuff up, dude. Here you go. Pivot right off that 85 region. We were talking about that 75 to 85 region and we get a bounce. We got it. 2-week breakout. Could back test right now, right? Could come back down to a back test around that 80, 85 region. We're looking for downside. We're looking right around that $87 region right there for oil if we get a pullback. Monthly, obviously bullish engulfing right now. We did get a monthly cross down, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see. Yeah, we're about to get a weekly cross up on the MACD. And 48 on the RSI is above neutral, closer to that bullish region. But no bullish cross just yet on the directional. 3-day chart getting close to a cross up. 2-day chart crossed. ADX sitting around 24, almost 25. So this could get pretty nutso for oil here. We got a bullish cross on the 2-day. We are towards the top of this range, so we could see short-term pullback, and if it holds there and so just consolidates, we could see a move back up to probably maybe retest this previous supply line area for oil. Let's see how that goes. Gold. Gold got rejected last week. Right, nasty rejection up here. Could try again though, right? We did make a bullish engulfing candle from previous week, but you know, some selling into this region here, which is that resistance. It is back in the zone, so we could see gold maybe attempt to break back above this 1700 region. But we'll see if we really get rejection this week. If we really get rejection this week, then these downside targets are going to play out, because this looks like a big M shape, right? This looks like a big M shape that could resolve down to like $1,300 gold, and then we go on another run, something like that, if it really does lose this range. And if not, we could just consolidate up here and not make this massive harmonic structure, and that would go with the narrative that the bottom's already in. Good time to buy more CRO. I mean, they just had layoffs, man, so probably. I don't know. Let's see. CRO. CRO does not look so hot. Doesn't look as good as some of these other coins. So maybe a retest of this 10-cent region for CRO, and if you break the 10-cent region, you're looking at 8 cents, and even on down to this region, 7 cents, right? So you're really looking at the 7-cent region for CRO. This looks like a big support area here. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not really too bullish on CRO right now. Right, because you broke this. But we could get a spring here and like try to break out of this and come back around, right? Could do something like that. Just gonna have to kind of pay attention to what's happening with these levels. So the answer is, you're in the middle of a level, but you're towards the bottom of a range. So buying here long term is gonna probably be okay, right? It's not like you're buying up here at $1.20. It's already lost a bunch of its value. Like it's lost 90% of its value, and it could lose another 30%. But who cares, right? If you know CRO is going to be here for the long term and it's going to maybe retest its previous all-time high or close to it, buying here has good risk to reward, right? You're looking at a potential 7 or 8x versus losing 35%. I think it's a no-brainer risk to reward. GMT breaking out. I might be buying some GMT, boys. This looks pretty good. Oh, wow. And you're in a squeeze on the weekly? That's looking tight, boys. That's looking tight. Look at that. This could pop at any time, man. This has some crazy, crazy divergence happening on this chart, guys. So I'm looking at a move at least to 78 cents, which is the top of that range. Also confluent with a moving average up there. Wow, yeah. This thing has room to run to about $1.25, which is its 200-day moving average. That looks pretty good, guys. Look at the RSI, how it's just coiling like that. You see that? Just holding, making higher highs, higher lows off that. Looks good, man. The chart looks good. You get a break above this moving average right here. I think you're gonna see fireworks. Like we saw what this thing did when it first launched. Like this is a massive descending triangle. We just went through this. It's a coin flip situation, right? So 53% of the time this breaks up. If this does break up, according to Bulkowski, our measured move for the descending triangle is so from the top of the triangle to the bottom, from the top of the first area of the triangle to the support is basically the measured move. So compute the height from the highest peak to the horizontal trend line and then multiply it by the above percentage meeting price target. So, wow. So that's something like this, guys. So the bottom to the top of the triangle is a 527% move, guys. Right? Yeah, and it already technically made closures outside of the triangle. You guys see that, right? All right. I think I've stated my piece on this one. It would make a lot of sense for us to go and test up the 200-day, which is basically the top of this range, which is $1.16. Right? Unfi was another one we were talking about the other day. Now, this one closed. Yeah, it's kind of an indecision type of candle, but it's pretty close to breaking back above its what is that, the 50-day on the weekly. If this closes back above the 50-day on the weekly chart, I mean, this thing is just gonna go right up to like $12. There's nothing here, just straight up, straight down type of stuff. And look at that receding volume, man. I mean, this thing is setting up for a move. But watch UNFI also. There's very low token supply. They can easily pump the price of this token. All right. What I liked about it was they were offering 27% APR, and they're a protocol. So I staked some of this stuff. I own it long term here. I obviously track assets that I own long term. So this does look like it's going to do something as well. Right. Some 3-day bull div there too, and just sitting above neutral on the RSI. Weekly, again sitting above neutral, 48. TRX, yeah, sure. So it broke down out of the pennant, and now it's trying to maybe break back into the pennant. And yeah, you can see the momentum is. I mean, you have a bit of negative momentum here on the weekly. You go to like the 5-day chart or like the 3-day chart. You got to cross up on the 3 days, so that could be indicative of a move back into the triangle or an attempt back into the triangle. If that does happen and you start getting closures above 6.7 cents and eventually up to 7.5 cents, you could reverse this entire trend and then use this as support before going on a major move. Yeah, exactly. I personally don't own this asset, or I probably will never own this asset, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I might need to adjust this triangle as well, but it did break down here. Or you can see it broke down where I had this originally drawn, and it does look like a cup and handle type of structure, but I don't really. Yeah, I mean the weekly does look good. You can see on the RSI here making a higher low from this low back here in January. So, but it made a lower low on price, but a higher low on the RSI. So there is some weekly RSI bullish divergence to be had there, and you are above the 200-week moving average. So lots of these assets are not above their 200-week moving average. This one is. All right. DYDX was another one that I think has some legs, guys. All right. Obviously in a massive downtrend here, but it looks like we could be maybe rounding out towards this region, at least to go and test the supply line again. Like, you know, we're looking at maybe a 20% move back up to test this $1.50 region. I would say that looks like a good area for it to go test. And you know, if it does break here, I mean, it wouldn't really shock me. It's just been going straight down for a while. All right, so DYDX looking good. And in terms of what kind of retracement it's done since it got listed, let's see. It's, yeah, 1.414 fib extension. I mean, obviously, if we really want to give a bearish target and it does like get up here and then get rejected and loses this low, yeah, we could see the next fib down, right? Which is 80 cents. It's not doing that right now. We got a weekly bullish engulfing candle last week here. I would say that this is gonna maybe test the top of this range here, around $1.45, $1.50, right? Any other last requests? We have lots of viewers on tonight. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. And let us help you in your trading journey here at STP. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are in the works to finalize SAR version 5. So if you guys are interested in automated trading, definitely stay tuned for that. Join the Discord if you guys haven't done so already. So yeah, last call for some TA on some assets that you guys are interested in. Let's look at some traditional things. Like I want to look at the VIX real fast and kind of get a clue as to where that's headed. Obviously, every single time the VIX got above this 80 level, it was a bottom. So this was the 2008 crash. We got 87 reading on the VIX, and back here in coronavirus time, March. This was a spike here for the bottoms, right? So So we'll see if we end up getting a spike. Adam or Lido. All right, we'll take a look at that. CGC, we'll look at that there for Angel. All right, so we'll look at Adam. This one's been performing really well. A nice closure above the 302 fib extension last week, and using it as support. Using it as support. So yeah, beautiful, right? Nice uptrend for this asset. Got to the bottom of the channel, got a nice rally, and looks like it's trying to pivot off this 382. We could see the top of the range if Bitcoin does continue to go up around that $14.50 to maybe $15 region there for Adam. For downside targets, if we do get movements down, we're looking at retesting the bottom of the range around that $12 region, and you see what happens there. It looks like a major support level for Adam. All right. Let's see, CGC. Yeah, that thing got rejected off its supply line, man. Nasty rejection candle there. I mean, that nasty. Got up to it on that news. Look at the daily, man. Just wrecked. That's a failed break if I've ever seen one, and that sucks. That sucks. Still diverging on the monthly chart. But obviously not looking too hot there. Last week, closing a shooting star rejection type of candle. I mean, yeah, we didn't break below 272, but man, that is bad. That is a bad candle. So if we see continuation down for CGC, we're definitely looking at a break of 272, maybe on down to 224 to retest this low. And who knows, man, this stock just sucks. Dodo, yeah, we can take a look at Dodo. So it looks like we got a wedge break and we got a back test last week here. See if this really does anything. We're looking at a break above 14.3 if we get that. If not, we're looking at a retest of previous supports around 12-cent region. So in the middle of this range right here. And the RSI looks like it is rounding out. So pay attention, keep your eye peeled on that. But obviously still in a massive downtrend. And we did test the top of this range here. We actually did give a trade setup on that. I want to show you that. Show you guys that real fast. This was called out, and some folks definitely benefited from it. So in our profit gains channel, you guys can see Dodo, quick 35% move. So some folks did take this trade and caught some nice movements there to the top of the range on it. But that was this wick up here. All right. Did I miss anything? Looks like USDT is coming off there. GMT already starting its move. Beautiful. Harmony 1. This one I haven't looked at in a while. Getting a weekly cross up. Interesting. But all right, guys. Appreciate you guys popping on the stream tonight. Toe, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that, brother. And you guys have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys in the next one. For now, you guys have a wonderful evening, and